2, 1.
Good evening. Welcome back. Episode 4 of Mini Challenge Clubsport Talk Show Live. Yeah, that's the one. So run up. Welcome to you all. The comments have been coming in thick and fast already. Make sure you share it, whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. Get it shared. Let's get more of us together. It's a community. That's what this is all about. Dave Taylor says, evening, you lovely lot. Just made it back home in time to watch the shenanigans going on. It is shenanigans. The current Mrs. Dawes is hopefully making me a gin as we speak. She came back and offered, and I said no. What? I can't believe I said that. I got a nosebleed and called her back and said yes. So the gin's hopefully on the way. It's fine. It's not a problem. Martin Ringer, hi to all from Sheer Motorsport. Apologies, I probably butchered that. Sorry, Martin, but welcome, mate. Perfect acceleration. Hello, mate. Good evening, all from those. And David Taylor says, hey, folks, that's 2 different images. You got 2 different profiles there, Mr. Taylor. Or is it 2 different David Taylors? I don't know. Listen, welcome along to episode 4. Now, I'm having to do this on the hoof. The beauty of it being live means I've got to roll with it because Andy from Gamin's not here yet. He's not in my green room, so I can't bring him on just yet. So we're going to shuffle the order we planned. Hopefully he'll be on later. If not, we'll have to catch up with him at another point. David Taylor's confirmed. No, he's just changed the picture. That's all right then. You confused me then, mate. By the way, you can all put your comments, your questions, whatever, whether you're watching on YouTube, whether you're watching on Facebook, in the comments below the video. Put your whatever you have to say or questions you want to ask, and we can put it up on the screen with your profile photo. This is interactive. We're all in it together. I say we're all in it together. I'm still making sure that the current Mrs. Dawes has seen my message for the gin. I've got horrible feelings she hadn't, so I might be ginless and be water instead. Jake Wardle. Hello, mate. Good to hear from you, buddy. Right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring our first guest. We're going to shuffle this one out, and he's probably been sat listening to the music I've been playing, and he's been cussing that we're not using good stuff. This guy knows what he's talking about. He also knows how to race. It was his first year racing, and he's gone with a bang. Let's bring on Paul Sawyer. Paul Sawyer, and of course I've brought on your number 1 fan. There he is, Rob Austin.
Hi, Chris. Hello, Rob. How you doing, all right?
I'm good. How are you, Paul?
I'm glad you mentioned the music and not me. Oh, my God. I'm sure you can choose something better than that.
Hey, if you've got some music to provide that we can use without getting in any trouble, Paul, we'll make
the trouble is, Paul and I are the only ones who like it. The others say they don't like it when they actually do.
No, seriously, Paul, you've got music you want us to play instead. Please send it through, as long as you don't get us in trouble with the Facebook police, all right?
Well, I'm sat in the right room for that, that's for sure.
Exactly. Paul, welcome to the show, mate. It's great to catch up with you. This was your first year racing, as I understand it.
That's right, yeah. I've never raced in a car before. I've done years of motocross and mountain bike racing, but I thought I'd give it a go with 4 wheels for a change.
I guess several things is that point one, generically, how did you take to it? Did you enjoy it as much as you hoped you would?
Oh, do you know what? I actually enjoyed it far more than I expected. As the year went on, I just got more and more into it. And to be honest with you, I enjoyed it from day one. I had to get over the nerves a bit because I was so nervous when I first started. And I still get nervous for every race, but yeah, it's just so much fun. And as each round went, the fun just got better and better because obviously I was getting amongst it much more.
And surely that, I guess the key point being is that if those nerves disappeared, it wouldn't be as fun.
I think well, to be honest, I've always thought having nerves for racing is healthy anyway.
Yeah.
All the years I did motocross, I was always nervous. Did it every time I went out to race on the mountain bike, I was nervous. So, and you just turn that into an adrenaline, basically.
And I have to say is that being a DJ, I've just seen some pictures of you back abroad on the decks and everything else again, and with that crowd, and you know, I have a well of a time commentating, and whether it's like the American Speed Fest with tens of thousands of people there, it's an almighty buzz. But you with that immediate response, you must just be an adrenaline junkie, frankly.
Yeah, unfortunately, I am. Well known I am.
And you went looking at it. So give us a background. So apologies, Rob. I know I'm hogging at the minute, but I this is new to me with Paul. We haven't even had the chance to catch up properly yet, have we, Paul? But
No.
give us a bit of a background of you. Presumably, I guess we start with the music career.
Yeah, so I started in 1993, basically, and yeah, the whole house music scene just was really blowing up at the time, and I got invited to go out to Ibiza and ended up playing, warming up for the Prodigy and D Ream and Carl Cox and all sorts of people, and they basically asked me back for the following year. So I spent 3 months DJing every single night in Ibiza, and I was resident at the Star Club, which is now Eden, playing at Space and S Paradise and all that sort of thing, and started to really make a name for myself. And within the second year I was playing, I was being written about in Mix Mag and everything, and starting to tour the world as soon as I got back to the UK. And so I started up my own event called Menage a Trois in Southampton, and we did boat parties. And every single DJ that was around and in the limelight at the time were ringing me up wanting to play because it was such a big event, and you know, it was talked about quite a lot. So every single DJ that you could think of, like Oakenfold, Judge Jules, Seb Fontaine, all those sort of people were playing regularly. And so then it just sort of escalated from there, really. And I've spent 30 years traveling the world and playing in lots of countries that I'd never have imagined I was ever going to see, to be honest. And it's you know, it's been a massive buzz. And then of course the pandemic hit, and I thought, you know, what's going to happen now is going to all go down the pan. And Radio 1 came along and invited me to bring our label, Crafted, and we hosted a show for 2.5 years, basically. So, you know, it was perfect timing with everybody in lockdown. So couldn't have asked for a better thing, really, at the time.
I mean, it almost sounds. I mean, even the way you were regaling that story is that I can sort of almost sense that you still pinch yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I always remember when I first started listening to Pete Tong when he first started Essential Mix, and that was actually in '93 as well. And I always would have loved to have been on Radio 1, and even just have music played on there was, you know, such a big thing. And then to eventually get asked to host a show on there was just unbelievable, really. You know, something that I'll, you know, never forget. And hopefully it will be going back at some stage. I mean, the good thing is I get a lot of my music played on the well, so that's pretty good.
Because that's the thing. I mean, when people sort of okay, I say people, maybe me, think of DJ, I'm thinking of the events more than anything else. But you're talking about actual released music as well.
Yeah, so I'm more of a producer nowadays than a DJ, to be honest. I spend more time with music, you know, making music and releasing music. DJing is great every now and then. I'm just at the age where I don't really want to be in a club till 6 a.m. Or we were doing events in Egg and the Ministry of Sound till 9 a.m. a few years ago, and I've got it kill me if I try to do it now.
Yeah, I not that long ago tried to do the walk of shame in the next morning and went, I can't do this anymore.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it hurts twice as long as well.
Yeah.
I love it. I know, Rob Austin, you're a huge fan, aren't you, of Mr. Sawyer's music?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I love it. Paul knows how much I love the music, and in fact, my wife and I go all over Europe, all over the world, and we're going to California for Dream State in 2 weeks' time, only for 4 days. She does get a little bit concerned now, like we went to see a DJ set in Dubrovnik in the summer. When I told her they weren't on stage till 2 a.m., there was a little bit of resistance there, but bless her, she made it, and it was great. And Paul knows what an avid fan I am. But it's one of those things. If you know, you know. But we managed to convert Paul's love of his music into what we've had as the Sunset Garden on a Saturday night after the races. So Paul's put a set of music together for us to try and create this community after race 1. And it's been brilliantly successful, and we can't thank him enough for it. That it's we can get everyone together, and hopefully Paul can sell a bit of music as well because of what happens there. But it probably don't, because they're all ignorant. They don't understand. But no, it's I think music is probably to motorsport. That's my second love, and it's such an important thing in my life, and I would just love to do what Paul does, but sadly I'm actually tone deaf in terms of music, so I would never be able to do anything. I couldn't even play a triangle at school. But no, it's good, and I mean, what Paul's done this year has been brilliant, and I think that, as Tom and I have discussed with what we're trying to do for next year, is the bringing novices in, getting novices to race in the championship is so important, and that's where we think the lifeblood and the future of the Club Sport Championship is, by just bringing in drivers who perhaps haven't done it before, and that's when we're going to be talking to Tom later on about Tom Ison about mechanicking the cars. And I think it's great to see guys and girls coming in, racing as novices, and then competing and getting in amongst it. And that's where I believe that our championship will thrive. So for next year, sadly, Paulie won't be eligible, but we've got the Novice Cup, which is a great prize provided by Ravenel, one of our partners. And I think that we've got plenty of inquiries of people wanting to come in to do it, because it's a great place to start. I mean, when you start racing, as you well know, Paul, it was many years ago when I started, as Chris, as well. It's quite daunting when you come in and you don't know how to go about it. You don't know what to do. The protocols are different, and we want to just put our arms around people and say, "Come on in and have a go."
I agree. And Paul Sawyer, I've been sort of seeing your social media is that you really seem to have embraced that, encouraging people to get involved in it and really promoting it, even sometimes not overtly. Oh, we lost you, Paul.
Go on.
Sorry, my internet went a bit funny. Then I missed the question. Sorry.
That's okay, mate. Apologies. We had you absolutely perfect earlier, so typical. I was just saying that you really encourage people to get involved, Paul. Not always overtly, but you're clearly very positive about it, and that's from your own experience.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, to be honest with you, I couldn't just do it all on my own anyway. There was so much to think about, and I was lucky enough to find the right people to support me along the way to make it as easy as possible for me to actually race throughout the whole year. And Rob and Tom and Glen have all been a great help the whole year, to be honest. Giving me advice and helping on the silliest little things, even getting myself to the right place for the assembly area and things like that. It's all things that you'd never think about as a spectator or anything like that, until you come along and actually race yourself. And you need to be steered, because there is literally so much to think about when you're racing a car. And I suppose the trouble is when you're nervous as well, it's difficult to think straight. So, you've got to have people around you that will do things to make your life a little bit easier.
What made you in the first place then select Mini Challenge Clubsport then?
Well, it all came about really because I bought a Mini. Well, my Mini I bought as a track car first of all to do track days, and I just came across Mini Challenge Clubsport just on the internet by chance because I was looking up mini racing, and I started following Zach Blackwell, and he followed me, and we got chatting, and he said to me, "Why don't you think about coming to race your Mini?" And I thought, well, my first reaction was, "I don't think I'm good enough." And he said, "Well, you know, you never know." And he said, "Why don't I come to Thruxton with you?" Because he knew I was doing a track day, and see what you like. And that's where it all sort of spurred from, really. And he said, "Oh no, you definitely should come and have a go." So I blame Zach now for being poor.
Well, it's
Paul,
all good.
You better tell them, Paul, about your plans for next year then.
No, nothing's been announced yet.
Oh, right, okay. We'll keep that.
We got to keep him teasing. Martin Ringer said Rob always helps us from the start as well, so that's a great feedback there. And Jake Wardle says, "Yeah, I found that for my first meeting, totally different to the spectating I've done for a couple of years." So it is that great involvement. Thank you. I've got my gin's arrived. Thank you, Mr. Drink. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right now. Just quickly catching up because Ryan Beeden says, "Evening, fellas," and says, "Get Rob to do a guest DJ set." So, Rob, you got to do a guest DJ set.
I'd love to.
I'd love to MC.
The garages at Silverstone are definitely big enough to have a DJ set up. So I think we all speak, Rob.
Absolutely, yeah.
Get on the ones and twos, Rob. Get on the ones and twos.
David Taylor said, some of your gins.
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, as you can see from the size of my glasses when I get them, I've got plenty of that, mate. It's fine. David Taylor said Paul's a legend. And Mark Hume says evening all as well. Evening to you guys. Welcome to the show. So, Paul, anybody thinking about getting into racing, what's your advice in racing in general and with Mini Challenge Clubsport?
I think if it was me, just to give a bit of advice, it's definitely worth coming down and having a look if you've got a chance. But unless you're going to just suddenly come into the series from day one, then spend a bit of time talking to some people beforehand and get some advice. But to be honest with you, everybody makes it so easy from the first round anyway. I was quite surprised how welcoming everybody was and how everybody wants to help you out, all the other drivers, all the parents and the mechanics and everybody. It's actually quite a good one, a big family that seems to help each other out, which is great. And I think that's what really makes it. It's such a friendly atmosphere.
Well, all I will say, Paul, is that'll change next year if you start getting really, really quick.
Yeah, less friendly.
Yeah, on that basis, when I was racing, I was hated for decades.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but you didn't get quick,
I know,
did you, Rob?
I bet Tom will be laughing now.
He is.
He is, yeah, I thought he might.
I think, actually, I've been forgetting all the oh, yeah, Tom says I still hate him.
Which Tom was that?
Yeah, that was Tom Halliwell, that one, as you know. Yeah. Just making sure I've got that so we can catch up. Jake Water says, yes, we did that with Junior Fiestas and meeting all the people in the paddock. And me and my family had no clue and no motorsport background before we stepped into the paddock. And so that is the important thing, is the Mini Challenge Clubsport. And I know this from Rob and Tom that I've known for many years, is that was what they've deliberately created here. But I pick up on your other comment as well, is that it's not just a supportive paddock, Paul. It's actually a very fun paddock as well, because you spend more time in the paddock than on the circuit, and it needs to be enjoyable.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at the end of the day, there's a lot of time between the races, and you spend a lot of time talking to the others and getting a bit of advice, and it is total fun. I mean, I could not believe how much I enjoyed the year. I've always enjoyed everything that I put my heart into, with all the sport and music and everything. But I've got to say, this is definitely the best sport I've ever been involved in, without a doubt.
Good.
I love that one.
Chris, can you ask Jake Wardle if he's going to come and join us next year?
Jake Wardle, are you coming to join them next year? I think he'd like to.
Yeah, good.
Ryan Beeden says, as sponsors of a few championships now, must say that the Mini Challenge Clubsport is one of the most friendly and helpful we've been involved in.
Good.
Remind me, Ryan Beeden, which one's he from?
AirTech.
AirTech, yeah. Sorry, I should have known, Ryan. Apologies.
He's obviously feeling a lot better. No, he had a bit of a bad time a few months ago. Jake's
comment: I'm still in juniors for a year, but would consider it once I am only 15.
Good lad.
So yeah, he'll be coming through. I commentated on him in sim racing as well as he's coming through. So a big mixture for Jake, one of the young stalwarts. He wants to join me in the commentary box at some point next season as well, apparently. So I've got to see whether I can make that happen as well. So that'll be good. Ryan says, much better now, thank you. Few hurdles to get over, but health is good. So there you go. There's the answer.
Well, we're waiting for Ryan to actually enter as well, though, aren't we?
That's right.
He keeps threatening, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on, Ryan. Come on, Ryan. We've got to get you out there racing as well. That'll be absolutely wicked. Right. Final couple of questions. A couple of just quick fire ones. Paul Sawyer. Unless, Rob, is there anything else I haven't asked?
No, I don't think so. No, it's all looking good.
Okay, just quickly, Ryan Beeden says, oh, let's make it happen. So he's right up for that, definitely. But Paul Sawyer, favourite circuit that you raced at this year?
Funny enough, someone else asked me that today. Thruxton has always been my favourite, but I must say Donington is a really close second. I absolutely loved racing at Donington.
Down the Craner curves in particular.
God, yeah, it was amazing. I'll never forget from the first lap I actually went down there to when I actually started to keep it flat out going down there. The difference was unbelievable.
It's a grip it and rip it, isn't it?
Yeah. I love Thruxton as well. I mean, it's my local circuit, so I've obviously spent a lot of time there, and I love how fast it is there as well. So I'm really looking forward to going back next year.
I tell you what, you want to see the music setup that he's got in his car, Chris?
Oh, really?
Blaring out it is.
Presumably not the race car.
On the race car, yeah.
Oh, yeah, can you imagine?
No weight advantage there, is there? Okay. What's either the scariest circuit or the scariest part of circuit that you experienced this year?
I think the scariest, actually, it would be a moment, I should say. The scariest moment I had was at Castle Combe. And I came together with Mr. Ben Trundley. And I ended up spinning off 110 miles an hour. So that was a bit of a shocker. But luckily, I didn't hit anything else, just the grass.
That's good there, because as you know, it's my local circuit and there's no runoff there. So you did well to avoid everything.
Yeah. I knew it would happen at some point. It had to, didn't it? But nobody was hurt. Nothing was really damaged much. I had a little dent, but nothing to cry about.
That's all right then. Final one then. I know you haven't released your details for next year, but if you were to race, what's the circuit or part of circuit that you're looking forward to most for next year?
I'm really looking forward to racing at Silverstone. I've never driven there, and obviously such a big circuit, and so much races there. It'd be really nice to actually race there, and it's great to have 2 rounds there as well. So, yeah, looking forward to that.
I like that. David Taylor says you should put some subs in the back of the race car and get the tunes banging.
I'll probably drive better.
Yeah, get you pumped up even more. Yeah. Crikey, they'd be in trouble then, wouldn't they? Listen, Paul Sawyer, thank you so much for joining us, mate. It's an absolute pleasure to catch up with you. Hopefully we'll catch up at the circuits next year. Well done on novice year, and thank you for encouraging other people to realise that it's not a pipe dream. You can actually get out there and do it.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely worth trying out. I would highly recommend it to anybody that's got a Mini and they want to race it around a circuit. You should definitely come and give it a try. Definitely.
I like it. Ryan's just said, trophy for who can mix the best tunes whilst driving. AirTech is sponsoring that by the sounds of it, mate.
Absolutely.
I love it. Right, Rob Austin, I shall speak to you again a little bit later, but Paul Sawyer, thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to catching up with you again soon.
Great. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Rob.
Next people we're going to speak to, we're going to catch up now with Tom Ison, who's a mechanic. So we're going to catch up that side. And so therefore, I'm also going to bring on our mechanical side, Glen Copeland. Let's bring them on. Well, gentlemen, hang on. Why have I suddenly got Glen Copeland? Let me just put him in the big one. Why is I can see him in the bottom, but for some reason he's not showing on my screen. I'm going to remove him. No, I don't know what's happening there. Glen, bear with me. But more importantly, Tom Ison, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. You?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm going to give away a little secret here, by the way. He's in the same house as Tom Halliwell because he just wanted to make sure that Tom was there to support him. Has anyone ever used that sentence, Tom Halliwell, to support them?
I have quite a few times, to be honest. Potentially the only one, but
no, exactly.
You need to really look for a better support system.
Yeah. The boy's a liability, for goodness sake. No, I'm only joking, Tom Halliwell, because he's down there. I can see him and he'll be on the private chat abusing us all in a minute. So he deserves some back. Oh, only one comment you're going to give us, are you, Tom? Okay, fair enough. Oh, two. And he's drinking coffee, apparently. So he's got coffee beans on the go. Tom Ison, obviously, and I'm sorry, Glen, I don't know why your camera's not showing at the moment. In fact, you've frozen, actually. I've only just realised in the green room you're frozen down there. So you might want to do a quick refresh, Glen, so that we can actually see you. I don't know, but if you have a crack at that. But most importantly, I'm going to speak to you, Tom. You are I'm going to oversimplify, so please expand on this, a mechanic for one or more of the cars?
Yeah, pretty much. So I basically look after Neil Clark and Andy Langley for Norfolk Cars, and then we've combined with Trunley Group Racing, so Ben and Ian for this season. Yeah, been brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Won again, just like we did last season with Neil Clark. You know, Andy drove his heart out, to be fair. He works me hard, as you can imagine. He's very nitpicky. And you know, the competition that we had at Donington with Ollie in the same sort of awning was brilliant. Yeah, it was a good season. It was a good season.
I mean, I want to take this. Actually, first of all, I'm going to start with your background. So your background is that you were involved in working on cars before you got involved in racing, presumably.
Yeah, so I left school in 2012. 2013, I met Tom Halliwell, and that was my insight in racing. I wanted to go racing. I wanted to, you know, understand a race car, how it's set up, X, Y, and Z. Tom helped me along the way, literally through my whole career in sort of motorsport and on road cars as well. So I left school 2013, met Tom. We went MG racing. I remember we went testing at Donington in December on slick tyres, which wasn't great. He come out of the old the last corner backwards. So that sort of ended the day pretty sharpish because we never had any wets. You know, and then a few years went by. We did the championship, MG Championship in 2016, and we won it. I also worked in motorsport full time in classic motorsport. It wasn't really for me with points and things like that, just over the top of my head. I then went on to Volkswagen Racing Cup with Team Hard. I ran Bobby Thompson. And a few other guys, you know, that have sort of been and done that championship and been successful. Also, I did Mini Challenge with A-Reeve, JCWs, and then that sort of tailed on to your Cooper S's. We did, you know, when that was a thing, and then did a bit of touring cars, GT Cup, and just sort of kept myself busy. So it's been good.
No, that sounds. I love the story of that because I wanted to make sure that people are mechanically minded. Sort of like know how the journey, and it's so many stories. So it means we probably did meet when you were mechanic in for Tom in the MG. Yeah, he's just.
I'd imagine so. Yeah.
Yeah, always sort of like have a banter with you guys.
Yeah.
And he was laughing. I could see it in the background when you were talking about the story of him arriving backwards. He still is. He remembers it well. I can tell from that big grin on his face. And even like you mentioned, Bobby Thompson. I've trained Bobby Thompson before for media training before he went into the touring cars. Top bloke, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Now, the big one I want to do, and I'm going to end up bringing Glen in on this one in a minute as well, is that I want people to understand, and I'm able to say this because I'm external to the championship, but you've worked on a plethora of different things there, which is great to sort of set that out. For people that are considering coming into something like the Mini Challenge Clubsport Championship, how, and I don't know whether easy is the right word that I'm looking for, but accessible might be better. Is it to be racing and working on one of the minis that will race in this championship?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, you could easily purchase a mini online on eBay, Auto Trader, go down to the local garage, whatever you may call it, go and get yourself a 2016 Cooper S or something, put a roll cage in it and not dampers, and away you go, sort of thing, Cooper's is even, it's a little bit more restricted. Well, it's a Cooper car, so you've not got all the tricks and bits like you have on a Cooper S. Probably a little bit more easier, I'd say. I think personally it's very easy to go down, get a Cooper car, put some tyres on it, put some different dampers on it and send it. Because that's essentially all it is. It's a damper, it's a tyre, and a fire extinguisher. And off you go,
And I think that's important. That's kind of what I'm trying to get to here, is that there are obviously mini championships that are now off supporting the British touring cars and everything else, and they're wicked to sort of be a stepping stone thing there. But people kind of go, well, yeah, but that's complicated. It's expensive, whatever, to start in. Whereas actually, it's like, no, this is accessible, this is achievable, and it's worth looking at and going and having some fun. I mean, we heard Paul Sawyer there that he kind of had this as a track car and he wanted to go racing, and it's like, well, go and do it then. And that was pretty much what he was told to do.
Exactly that. Like Glen will tell you in a short while that if you've got 10,000 quid, 15 grand or whatever, you can come racing at a relatively high level. We support some very good series, like the trucks, like mini festivals, and that's brilliant. As a low profile driver coming in as a novice, what an experience! And I still get a buzz, sort of, working in that now. Like the Donington event we did, brilliant. Such a great vibe.
And that's the key thing, is it's so much fun. By the way, just quickly before I bring in Glen, is that Rob Austin says spannering for Halliwell must have been so rubbish.
It had its challenging moments for sure. I mean, I'd say he was a harder driver to engineer, mechanic than Andy Langley, and he's bloody hard. Because he'd never give you a rest. Tom would never give you a rest. He was always on the case. He knew what he wanted, and but I'm here today, because of that sort of click round the ear, get on with it, so.
And that, I know we're joking, winding him up. Incidentally, by the way, he was warming up in the back down there. He's getting ready for a rumble, but it's that whole it's the whole nature that that's what you're able to get involved in. That it's not just like, let's just keep it working. Is that it's so much more expressive. There's so much more that you can do to get out there and enjoy it. There's a bit more of a challenge to it, which it sounds good.
Yeah, it does. I left Tom sort of 2017 after we won the minis. I sort of went after we'd won the MGs. I sort of went and did my own bit for a year. Then we came back and did three races in 3 rounds in the Cooper S with A. Reeve in the Stu Lane car.
I think I commentated on him one of those up at Alton Park, actually, and he won.
He did. A few sideways moments through Old Hall. I think it is Old Hall, yeah. And the Druids round the back. But yeah, I left him and sort of did my bit in GT Cup and did a bit in touring cars, and then I did a bit in with a Mosler last year with Martin Short and his sons. So getting the opportunity to come back to Mini Challenge Clubsport, or getting to the opportunity to come to it for, sort of supporting Tom in a way, sort of brought it all back close and nice. It was really, really nice, and I'm sort of, I'm glad I'm there, and that's what I'm doing next season. So I'm looking forward to it.
I do love it. I mean, the comments in the private chat as well, and I will come to you guys that are watching as well. But in fairness, Tom's confirmed Rob's comment that it was rubbish to spanner for Halliwell. But he said he was only nitpicking because he was so slow, was what Rob Austin said. But Tom did confirm that you spanned each time that I was on the lower step that Rob Austin was on the lower step to him. So you worked, Tom. That's the teamwork makes the dream work, as they say.
Exactly. Yeah. Doing something. I mean, Tom and Rob did always have good battles on track. I do.
They did. I enjoyed many a battle to commentate on that.
Maybe they should return. Who knows? That'd be good, wouldn't it?
I think so, although I'm not sure whether they're allowed to. I don't know when it's a championship.
No, probably not in Mini Challenge Clubsport, but maybe in something different. It'd be good to see them, or maybe do an endurance race, maybe. It'd be good to see them.
Well, I just covered on Sunday the Enduro K8, 8 hours, 20 minutes. And because my co-commentator got injured, I had to do it all on my own on Sunday. That was fun.
Really? Yeah. I mean, we did the 6 hour Birkett at Silverstone with the Trundlers and Neil and Andy, and it's extremely long on the pit wall, put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Tom's also said he started off mechanicking for his friends, so mechanics can become drivers. Is that a dream, Tom?
I'd have a go, but I don't know whether I'd be any good. Normally, when we get karting with the lads and stuff, I'm not too bad, but I think that's because I watch a bit of motorsport and understand the lines. But no, I'd have a go. But doing it properly I'm not too sure.
But Glenn, bringing you in, mate, I know that we've spoken about this multiple times, is that there's always been this big drive about making it accessible, making it easy to be involved in, and no one needs to be scared away from it, do they?
No, that's been the whole premise of the championship since Rob and Tom started it. It's meant to be accessible. The idea is to try. There are plenty of minis out there, people doing track days, racing elsewhere and stuff. And we're trying to provide a championship that is friendly, close racing, as competitive as you could want it to be, without the massive budgets that you would have to. I mean, I've been involved in some of the championships you were talking about before, and the money that can be spent in it is scary.
Huge.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you're talking 6 figures to run a Cooper for a year, can get a bit scary. But yeah, I mean, the whole point of the club sport is to get that racing at a sensible level, and obviously with things that we're trying to put in place over the years to try and make the cars closer for performance, make the racing even closer, but also keep the cost down for somebody who wants to build a car, because they don't have to go to extremes to try and keep up with the other cars, because they'll all be at the same level anyway.
Exactly, and I love this as well. Perfect Acceleration have said people often forget the work that goes on in the pits. People like Tom are worth their weight in gold, and we talk about those coming driving, but it's those that want to get involved with getting their hands dirty as well. Is that it is a great place to get involved in that as well.
Yeah, well, that's where I started. I mean, I started in motorsport, spannering mine and my friends' cars, like going around Europe and just plodding along, trying to get to different tracks, track days, racing, all that sort of stuff. And then from that, you build the desire to do it. So then I got a job in motorsport. I met Tom. My first year actually working in motorsport properly was the year Tom did his last year with A-Reeve. So that's how I met him. And then obviously,
I think I left
and stuff like that.
You were part of A-Reeve, I think that was
I was part of A-Reeve. Yeah,
I saw you come and I was gone. I was like,
no, we did the what do you call it, the McLaren event thing.
We did,
and then you did a couple of rounds with he who should not be named.
Mate, I can't remember. I can't even remember.
No, I think that you were definitely there, because I remember seeing you at Snetch and all. We definitely did.
I did the McLaren, and I can't remember after that. So about drove the car into the side of that truck. But
yeah.
But
Yeah,
Tom,
right, yeah.
Tom Ison, just and Tom Halliwell, it's fine. I'll bring you on in a minute. Just wait. I want to just quickly say, also from your perspective, Tom, is that we talk a lot about, for obvious reasons, drivers coming in and get involved, but equally, it feels to me that it's a great place if you're mechanically minded to come and get involved as well.
Yeah, I think so, and I don't believe you need a lot of knowledge to be welcomed into the Mini Challenge Clubsport sort of environment. They'll sort of put your arm around you and assist you and help you along the way and become a better person, better mechanic, better driver, whatever you may be. For me, I think
there are enough people in our paddock with enough experience that if somebody comes in and they're not sure, they can ask questions or somebody will help them out. That is the whole point of the championship. It's supposed to be that close-knit. My attitude has always been, all the way through doing racing, and it's got me into trouble on occasions, is the drivers beat each other on the track, not in the paddock, not with broken cars. You help them out, you get them on track as best you can, and you win on the track. And that is the attitude that everybody seems to have in the club sport paddock. That's what we're trying to promote. So if somebody's got an issue or missing a part, you'll find it somewhere. Somebody somewhere will give you whatever you need to get back out on that track.
Definitely. It's very much the same with, we had to borrow a timing chain tensioner at Castle Coombe because we didn't have one. Surprised we didn't have one. And someone lent us one, which is brilliant. And that's what you want, to get all the cars back on the circuit for the next race or next session. So it's great. Everyone comes as a close family, but we're all competitors. So it's wonderful.
It's that lovely fine line. I cannot believe it, by the way. I've just seen Rob Austin get up and sit back down again, and I'm sure he's in his pajamas, by the way. Just thought I'd drop that in, mate. It's like left zebra skin. There it is. He's just showing me. Hang on, I'm going to stitch him up. Look, zebra skin. There they are. Look. I wasn't going to go down on my own having seen that, all right? So I had to just share that. It's like therapy, this show tonight. So I'm also going to bring him in because he's been desperate to come in. He's Mr. Halliwell. Hello, mate. You're clearly chomping at the bit on this one.
Only because you sort of hear the stories of how I got into motor racing. I wasn't a driver. I never karted. I looked after a friend's car, a very successful driver who we got as far as Clio Cup and ran out of money. A guy called Pete Felix, who's massive. Jake Ward will know him. He's a big guy in Fiesta Juniors now. And then I decided I want to have a go. And then I met Tom, and Tom was only a young lad. He just wanted to have a go and get involved in racing. And we just used to do it off the back of a car and trailer. He looked around and Tom talks, and actually they're my trophies from MG days, and that's what we won with just a pair of mates going racing, one who wanted to spanner and one who wanted to drive. And we're trying to get back to that bit of it can be really competitive out on the track, but you don't have to have a massive awning, you don't need a lorry, you don't need a huge team. What you need is the belief and the want and the desire, and that's what we want to build.
Or an enterprise van if you Jeff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was unreal. Jeff turning up to Crofton with his car.
Jeff Surrey's van broke down on the way to Croft, and he so much wanted to race, he went and hired a Luton van from Enterprise and built ramps to get his car in the back and got to Croft. I mean,
wow,
that to me, and bless Jeff's a great guy, and he was part of the Reeve team when I raced, and love him to bits, and that is exactly what we want in our paddock. And for me, you can win races and run it yourself with your friends, off a car, off a trailer, a pop-up, whatever, but we are there to help you. As a novice, we will always help you, and and then it kind of comes back to the root of it. And it's very close to my heart. Motor racing, and they're the best days. Best days I ever had with me and my mates, van and trailer, having a laugh, winning races.
Well, I still remember you talking about the where you two will have worked together in the MG. I remember Snetterton. It was cold. It was fairly miserable. You guys had been busy. I'd finished commentating day one, and you had ordered a Chinese takeaway in the garage with a paraffin heater on or whatever in the garage.
We're trying to do a head gasket, if I remember.
It was a late one. You were definitely on a late one, and then you were sat with this thing. And bless you guys, you were like, Chris, come and sit down. Come and have some of this. Do you want any of this?
And I can imagine the actual other guy involved in this, a guy called Chris Wright, who I met when I raced an MG Trophy. Well, actually, I was a mechanic in MG Trophy originally, and we met with a blazing row in the pit lane at Silverstone. He threatened to stab me with a screwdriver because he thought I nicked his tyre. And actually, he's one of my bestest mates now today, and he built my car running, and that's how, he still helps Tom and things like that. So it's such a huge community and our love for racing. And as I say, and Glen's the same, it's all about the love of cars and just going fast in circles.
And going and doing the thing that we love together. I still, that one night, I still remember it. And Chris Wright, bless him, he's been off doing the runs down to Ukraine and all sorts, hasn't he? In the van and what have you. And massive guy that was just the biggest heart, so much fun. And his lad as well, wasn't it? That was yeah, that's right. And he was a pretty good peddler as well, even from memory. And I just, it was weird. It's one of those nights that still sticks with me, that it was like cold, it was dark, it was horrible. And you guys got this Chinese takeaway of like a mix of a whole host of things. And you were just so welcoming, going like, come on, if you want some, have some. I don't think I did in the end as it happened. But
so the thing was, when the lights went out, we would be fierce. However, as soon as the checker flag's done, it's back to normality. So that's what I'm saying. It's a healthy competitiveness. We promote not only the camaraderie in the paddock, but out on the track, we want, serious racing, and that's what we promote as well. So, so
which is why
it's all, it's all a big social. That's a part of it. The main thing is actually going to enjoy really good racing.
And that was a key thing when we spoke down at Castle Combe and suggested that we started working together and doing a number of things like this and what have you, is that that I get that as well from the commentators, from the fans' perspective, all of that, and what you and Rob initially set up to do and Glen is just to create that for everyone. Tom, I love that we've taken this from your angle as well, Tom Ison, because we're speaking to the drivers and we desperately are trying to make sure we're encouraging plenty of those.
The worst bit is, Mr. Ison, you talk about your endurance race, and over my shoulder that side is a big slab of Welsh slate that me and Righty won with a team off the back of van and trailer, and that was the first ever race for remembrance.
8 hours that was. And we finished with a wheel bearing about to fall off.
And up at Anglesey, presumably that one, wasn't it?
It was indeed. Yeah, probably one of the best. A great event. It's coming up, I think, weekend after next. But yeah, no, good.
Well, Tom Ison, Glenn, first of all, is there anything else that we should be asking Tom Ison about from that side? Because obviously this is your baby, isn't it? The sort of the technical side.
Well, yeah, just it's about obviously the regs. How does he think that we've got it right? Is he happy with how things are and like what the plans are for next year? From obviously somebody who's going to be running cars or being a mechanic on them. It'd be interesting to see that side of how they feel it is, because your drivers, you're always going to get, no, I want my car to be as fast as possible, whereas the mechanics tend to understand the logic behind the technical side.
Good question, Tom Ison.
Yeah, I think you have. It keeps costs capped, essentially. You're not spiraling away with, bigger bank balances and smaller bank balances, let's say. So you're not modding your cars, unrestricted and things like that. So I think it's a good idea of, Cooper S. It'll bring it closer. Coopers, it'd be good to see a few more Coopers involved, and 10 plus would be great, wouldn't it, to have a little Cooper race at the back, because sometimes 3 or 4 is a bit lonely. But
hang on.
You say that, but then 2, 3 cars are some of the closest races you get.
Yeah, of course. The racing all year throughout every class was fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah, but you watch them three. If you watch Dan, Neil, and Andy at most of the races last year, that was the best racing on the circuit most of the time. So just 3 cars can still entertain you for 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Yes.
No problem at all.
Sometimes from a driver point, though, they want more drivers.
Yeah, I get that. But to be fair, though,
like Neil said it a few times. He wants to be looking in his mirror all the time and on it, you know.
Well, to be fair,
You're
he kept complaining that he had to overtake the cars in front of him. Well, hard like he had.
Yeah. The key point that I'm picking up here, if I'm honest, guys, is that anybody watching this that's umming and ahhing, we've now seen it, that exactly as Glen and Tom Halliwell have both been saying, and I can testify both as a fan and a commentator, and we love it when there's action, is that you're right. Tom Ison, you're absolutely right. What was it? 3, 4, 5 cars, whatever. Epic battles, as Glen and Tom Halliwell have said. We want more. Therefore, that's where you people have got to come in. It's accessible, as Tom Ison's confirmed, is that it is designed to be, easier, affordable to get out there and do it. And the racing is epic. There's no question about it. There is racing going on that up and down through this grid. And that is what I love about the Mini Challenge Clubsport as well. Tom Ison's confirmed it from a mechanics perspective. These two, I know, we can say they're biased, but...
Can I just say, it's almost like a ladder as well, isn't it? So you could enter, with a Cooper and then work your way up and go into a Cooper S, 53, 56, and then even tweak it to be in an open class or move further afield. So there's definitely a progression there with Mini Challenge Clubsport for sure.
Agreed. I like that one as well. Well, Tom Ison, thank you so much for joining us, mate. I do appreciate it. And now, hopefully, you can see there was nothing to be nervous about at all. It was all good.
No, secretly, I come round because he's cooking me tea.
Oh, fair dues.
I think that's worse than him supporting you.
I do love it. Tom Ison, thank you so much, mate. I appreciate that. And we'll let you go now. I know you'll be in the background. We might even see you walk through that door behind in a moment. But I will let you go. And I'm not even going to play the what do I call it? The transition, because I'm going to straight away bring Rob Austin on, and I'm going to let Tom Ison be relieved there, because we're going to carry on the discussion that we were really getting into. And actually, someone's asked a question that leads us into this. David Taylor says, is there going to be any major changes to the Cooper class regs for 2025 for Glen and Tom? Cheers. And that's really one of the things that we wanted to finish off this show, was just pick up with you guys about regs changes.
Glenn, go on.
Because who wants to start with that one? Well, Cooper-wise, in answer to the question from Mr. Taylor, Cooper regs aren't changing a great deal, no. Is the long and the short. We're making a few very minor tweaks just to bring things in line for 2025 that we wanted to do last year, but just didn't get the infrastructure in place to do it. So the Coopers themselves, very little changes. Nothing that's going to cost anybody a fortune. That's the main thing. Yep. As we've said all along, this is not supposed to be open wallet racing. This is meant to be cheap, club-based racing, really good close racing. So anything we do is based upon that principle.
That's fine. Do I get the impression there are some Rob Austin? I'm going to turn to you because we've just added you back here. Welcome back, mate. And your zebra pants. Is there? I think there was.
No.
You don't need to keep clearing your
Tom,
are
there
there
pants on?
That's true. That's true. Making a lot of fuss over a little thing, but is there any regs comments that we did want to touch on?
No, I leave the regs to them. Look, I think the bottom line is that we're in such a great space for next year. You know, we've got a good infrastructure of partners, drivers, a fantastic calendar. It's really exciting. I mean, you know, if you've got a Mini, you want to come racing with us, we're going to make it happen. We're going to make it available to you. It's just such a good time. You know, we're so relaxed, actually. This time last year, everything was up in the air. We'd had a hell of a season. Tom and I were, overworked, underpaid. Same this year, really. But Glen, Glen came in and he He really provided some stability for us, and it's been brilliant. So we've now got everything that we want, and we've got a fantastic new partnership with Silver Lake, which we'll announce very shortly. They're coming on board.
I think you just did, Rob.
I'm pretty sure you just.
Oh, right, sorry. No, not at all. I mean, Silver Lake are coming on board with us in a multi-year deal, which is fantastic. All of our drivers will be able to get discounted parts through them, which will be available on site at each meeting. So it's a great thing. We've got stability in the championship, and it's I think Glen, Tom, myself, we would just be love to be racing in it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Incidentally, by the way, what I will say, and hopefully we'll get a chance to get Andy on when he's not away or anything like that, but Gamin, obviously you've got this Gamin catalyst. Don't necessarily steal thunder from when we do get Andy on, but this Gamin catalyst seems like a pretty amazing thing for the drivers. Who should I aim that one to? Who wants to pick up that one?
Hey, Glen will tell you all about it.
Yeah, the catalyst is a very, very good tool for the drivers. What they've done, the Garmin have managed to develop a system there that is very, very intuitive for people to use for not only just doing basic stuff, but the way that it works for giving driver coaching, like built-in optimization of lap times, all that sort of stuff. And for the cost of it, it's a no-brainer, really. And obviously, through discussions with us, Tom, Rob, they are developing it as they go along as well. We've made requests. They're looking into doing that, make it more motorsport oriented and all that sort of thing. But as the original tool that they came up with, there's nothing like it on the market. I don't think it is very, very good at what it does.
It was actually developed in America.
Yeah, but all
it was
of our
developed in America by. Go on.
I was saying, and with that comes with the partnership is that actually all of our competitors get a real good discount, well over and above on what they can achieve elsewhere on the product. So most, I would say, probably nigh on all but one or two drivers have actually got a catalyst in their car that they've not, it's not just been a given. They've gone out and bought it, so it's out of their choice as well. It's not like, oh, you have to run it. It's not written in the regulations. They've chosen to spend their money there. So it's a massive sort of endorsement for the product, really.
I think the thing is that from if you look at the partners that we got involved, from AirTech to Ravenol to Garmin and now to Silver Lake, we've got people involved, we've got companies involved who want to give something back to the competitors. So our guys can get cheaper oil, they can get cheaper parts that need to be on the cars. They can do something with the Garmin catalyst. It's just helpful. Every little bit helps, and I think that they're lucky to have that, really.
And a key one that was really nice is that the winners of the different class championships actually got Garmin watches as well. They
do. Yeah, that's right. Which is
really, really
good. Where else can you race where you can end up with a watch at the end of the season?
No, exactly. Jake Wardle, by the way,
tell you what, it might actually help some of them get to the assembly area on time and also to the driver's briefing.
No difference whatsoever. Jake Wardle says, got to go and revise for mocks next week, Chris, but enjoyed listening. Thanks, mate, and good luck with your mocks.
Yeah, tell him I've got a load of dishwasher in a minute and all.
Yeah, Jason McGuinness says, I can say the catalyst is very good. It helped me out a lot. And Rob, you were saying to me earlier that I think you've got, was it like 2 or 3 of them that are available for people to try out, and it's like the uptake has been absolute, pretty much, hasn't it? As soon as they
it's been fascinating actually, because we started off with 3, and then Andy Hayman managed to get us a couple more last year, or 1 more I think it was, and every time we ask the driver, we give it to a driver, and then after 2 or 3 races, we want it back. And they go, oh, okay, well, I better buy one then. What's the discount? So, and also, it was interesting. It was developed by one of their guys who was a motorsport fanatic in America. He came up with this thing and just ran with it. And Garmin said to him, okay, give it a go, see what happens. And from that, it's now the Garmin Catalyst 2 is coming out this year. of which we're having some involvement in its development. So it's brilliant. And I'm hoping that the three of us will be able to go to America to help develop it.
Of course. we're all in on that one. Yeah, we're all in on that one. That's absolutely fine. So, yes, Silver Lake, obviously, the new partnership that's involved there that you kind of blancmange announced there, really, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's official now. Silver Lake have sponsored Paul Sawyer this year. They were keen to be involved with the championship. As we well know, they're heavily involved with the C1s. It's not to take anything away from the C1s, but they fancy to go at the minis. They've got an awful lot. Their setup is huge.
It's mad, isn't it?
I had a tour around it, and I was absolutely blown away. Alan
it's like a sweet shop, isn't it?
It's unbelievable. They've got just so much stuff there, and they're really heavily into their marketing. It's going to be wild having those guys on board next year, because they just love their motorsport, and we'll have our work cut out keeping them quiet, I think. But no, it's a great thing. We've also got a new social media set up with Jay Jones, who's involved with Silver Lake. So that's something else that we'll announce on the next podcast. But it's all looking really good.
That's awesome.
Christmas has come early.
No, it's so good to hear. The future's bright, the future's healthy. That is awesome. Glenn, anything that we do need to make sure people are aware, whether it's on the regs or anything else that we haven't said yet?
No, nothing that they need to be aware of. Obviously, everything will be getting, I think, entries open 1st of December. That's the thing they need to make sure they're aware of. Get their entries in as soon as possible. Calendars out so they can see what great circuits we're going to. What the great series we're supporting again this year. So, yeah, I think anybody that's got a Mini that doesn't race with us has kind of lost the plot a little bit, I think.
No, that is good to get that out so early. By the way, Wendy May says, big thank you to Glenn for helping and looking out for Miss Media Sophie again this year. Couldn't do it without you all, guys. And I just love that. There's so many lovely stories about, all the other bits that you guys are doing and helping with and everything else like that. I think we've covered everything, haven't we, guys? Is there anything else?
Just
Tom
one final
Halliwell?
thing is...
Oh, Rob first.
Yeah, just one final thing, for us, that we've got this mini festival this year. It's fantastic for us to be back on that. MSV have been brilliant in getting us on board. In fact, they've actually asked us to headline it. So we've got the garages, we've got trade space, and it's back to its best. So for us, that's a brilliant meeting. I think the guys and girls racing at it won't believe how good it is, but the three of us know how good it is. And in fact, Chris, how good it is.
Yeah, I've been in the commentary box leading the team for that one several times, and hopefully I'll be back there with you guys for that one. It's just such a cool event, both on and off track, so that is a great one to be involved with. So that's wicked. Tom Halliwell, anything else that you want to add?
We've got one other big announcement, Tom, haven't we?
Yeah. My old business partner's gone off on a bit of a sidetrack here. So we're going to announce a couple of big things. One being Silver Lake involvement, which is absolutely massive for us and our competitors, because what it does is allow the spare parts that, like Tom was saying, they'll try and find between the vans at the moment. That'll be there in abundance. But one of the big things that we are going to announce, and we want to announce it now because we want to release regulations, is that we have signed a multi-year agreement with Davanti Tyres to provide tyres for us for this year. 2025 through to 27 at least. Sean Maddox at Davanti has been so keen and so supportive of the championship. So that's now written into the regulations. The support they're giving is unbelievable for what we would deem as a club level series. The costs are fantastic. The full support from BMTR again that we've had this year. So it's a huge thing for us to announce. Sadly, my partner in crime lobbed in a bit early with some of the others. But yeah, huge thing for our competitors. I mean, we've actually reduced tyre costs from this year going into next year and probably the year after, which is huge.
That is wicked, because you even kept that one from me, so that was really cool. I didn't know that.
We wanted to leave the best to last. I mean, Davanti, we've been talking to them for a few months. Some of the guys tested the tyres at the Burkett and were very impressed with them. So having them on board for a club series like ours is phenomenal. And I think the drivers are going to really enjoy the tyres.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, longevity looks good. The price
is certainly going to enjoy the costing.
Yeah, the price is unbelievable. You're talking. It's hard. I'm not going to put numbers out there now, but you're talking less than tyres for this year. So in a world where it's Wednesday, we've all had a budget released and things have gone up, we're actually reducing the price of something that actually is on a like-for-like basis, if not slightly quicker. So
I think we're going to be the envy of a lot of championships with the Davantis because the name is well known obviously through Dan Zelos and the JCWs, and I think that actually now we've seen the product, it's phenomenal, and the support for the series is amazing.
Yeah,
that sounds really, really cool. I have to say, we've been getting comment coming in. Jay Jones says, looking forward to working with the series. Plus, Silver Lake is exciting to get stuck in as well. So that's really cool to hear that as well. Absolutely awesome.
Just want to go back to it. I mean, we go back to how we are now. We're at the back end of 2024. We're looking at 2025, but we still must remember our partners AirTech, Gamin, Ravenol, and Norfolk Mini, who've all shown huge confidence, to help us get to where we've got to and continue to support. And without all of them, this wouldn't be possible. And what our guys, the calendar we get. And the kind of cost to go racing, which in a modern day world is relatively cheap. What they get is good.
I think one of the big things that I can say, stepping out of it, you guys are obviously internal, is that what I love, and this kind of backs up something you said to me multiple times, Tom, is that I think I mistakenly called them sponsors, and you went, no, they are not sponsors, they are partners. And I thought that was a throwaway comment at the time, because everyone dresses it up, but it's like, no, they actually genuinely are partners because everyone is providing something that helps these people go racing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
it helps the championship thrive.
Yeah, what lots of people think is, they take an entry fee and magnitude it. People with the greatest respect who go racing, and I'll be honest, up until probably me and Rob came with this stupid idea to take it over, we ain't got an idea. Circuit costs, insurance, general other, fees, blah, and all of a sudden you go, hang on, to keep the budget where we want it to be, we need the support, and also then to discount the products to the competitors. So totally, that's it. I mean, I think we can both say we're so proud of where we are now with who we've got, signed up, and our competitors are involved with it. It's fantastic.
I love it. Glenn, I'm more conscious I didn't come back to you. Is there anything else that you want to add before we wrap up?
No, I think the two old fellas have covered most stuff.
Hang on, I'm younger than you.
Yeah, tough paper round. No, listen, guys, that's so exciting. We're taking a little bit of a hibernation on this show, but we'll be back, I believe, is the plan, isn't it, at some point to be discussed, basically.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, we'll be back. I think people are into Christmas mode now. They've got to go and buy presents for young children and stuff. All they need to know is that the championship is there. We're ready to go. Everything's done. Tom and Glenn are going to get these regulations out very shortly. Now that we've got the Davanti tyres sorted out, it's so good. And make sure you get your entries in nice and early in December.
Absolutely. Watch this space, and hopefully we'll be back with episode 5 in due course. It's been an absolute pleasure to see this fun that you guys have had with the tail end of 2024 season, guys. Really impressed to see how you've grown it. And to me, 2025 looks incredibly exciting. And you look incredibly excited about it as well, is fair to say. Keep up the great work, guys, genuinely. And I still love the fact that it is running a championship how you wish it had always been run for you guys as well.
Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Well done.
Is Glenn looks like he's in a prison. Is he?
Hold up. You're the one that looks like you've got prison trousers on.
Maybe I should lend them to Glenn then.
You just come off the chain drag.
Oh my God.
On that note, we bid you a very good evening. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful
Yeah,
Christmas.
guys.
We'll see you again very soon. Cheers. all.
Bye-bye.